Hello and welcome to my guide for the Firebird twister, and I like to call it beam build. So first I'll just quickly go over the gear. You need a twisted sword. The twisted sword, well, I should actually go to the cube to kinda explain better. So you need edged sickle as the weapon or whatever offhand in your cube, cause when you're spamming this arcane beam here, you also cast energy twisters, and I had taken the oh yeah, well, right now I have the wrong rune on, but yeah, then you take Gale Force, and then you basically just spam Arcane Beam without barely ever casting the spell itself. So yeah, you need Twisted Sword, and this one can be gotten, well, you can craft swords, so you go to the vendor here, or whatever, and you scroll all the way down. Let's see, where was sword at? I think it was all the way down. Nope. Okay, but I waste time here. Sorry, just trying to find it real fast. Okay, so you make these swords here, right? So you make these and then go to the cube and re-roll. Now this costs a lot of materials, but it's definitely the fastest way to get a twisted sword. Personally, I've crafted 4 twisted swords before I got this one, so that was pretty lucky. Yeah, and then I go full Firebird, so I have every part but the shoulders. The shoulders are the mantle of channeling. I'm not quite sure what stats you want in these, but cooldown reduction is probably a waste. Even if you do have 2 or 1 cooldown in this build, I wouldn't go with cooldown reduction myself. Armor and life percent would probably be the best. Cooldown reduction in your helm, not really needed either. This one could be life percent as well if you want. The legs or the hands, they could actually have cooldown reduction instead of vitality as well if you feel like it, but I don't really think that's too good. Convention of elements, this could also be a unity ring if you don't want the extra damage, but convention of elements, I have a really insane trophy roll here, so I just went with that one. But you could also go with a Unity or maybe even a Stone of Jordan. And the belt, you definitely want life percent and armor in this one. Not much to say about that. Armor and armor on the chest, that's fine. You could go with Disintegrate damage instead of vitality, but then you lose some survival, maybe not worth it, but yeah, that's an option. You could I think one of these also had disintegrate damage. I think there was boots that also had disintegrate damage. You could have that instead of well, movement speed or armor or whatever. The offhand could also not have vitality and then damage instead, or some other useful stat like resource cost reduction or whatever. And then you go with Traveler's Pledge. I don't really have good ones here, but this is the best that I have currently. But yeah, the problem with these items is that they're pretty hard to get, but they're really good. So try to get some good rolls on these two. And then Ransler's Folly, just cause it's really good. You will see that later on. Yeah, I can also quickly showcase the Merc, the Die token, and you should have this one with critical hit damage and block chance, cause that's the best option by far. Then you need a cooldown reduction and attack speed Eon Jangdu. This really helps if they have both cooldown reduction and attack speed. So this one is nearly perfect, it's just in strength. Cooldown reduction and attack speed again on the Essence of Johan, 80% roll. This one gives a lot of damage at higher greater rift levels, and try to get with cooldown reduction and attack speed. This one is just good for attack speed only, so if you get a new one, in the current patch this one's low, but if you get one, try to reroll like I did it now with double attack speed. And then of course the freeze deflection with block chance and, well, cooldown reduction. That's probably the best stat, but yeah. Yeah, there's not much more to say about it pretty much. The build itself, you could go with something else with deflection. You're going to be using Halo Ring. Now, if you don't have a good convention of elements, you could put a convention of elements in the cube and use your Halo Ring instead. It's up to yourself there, there's some choices there. And then I'm just using Crystallize and Spell Steal. Now this one's kinda important, cause you kinda need to aim it now to hit mobs to get a good amount of stacks for the damage. And then Aquila's Courage, this one could actually be changed out to something else, but I kinda just like using this one, cause it gives so much survival. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the build. There are some options, you can change out skills and whatnot, but definitely the Convergence and the Gale Force, or those are pretty much set. And I would also say Safe Passage is kinda set, cause you don't need Calamity. And yeah, let's start a Greater Rift. Now the problem with this build is that it's not gonna go higher than Greater Rift 75 or so without extreme, what can you say, fishing. The whole point of this build is to kind of burn mobs and then move on, never pretty much stopping. And then when you find an elite pack, you hopefully have burned enough mobs that you have a lot of damage going from the Firebird set. Yeah, so yeah, a lot of fishing, and that's maybe not for everyone, but let's see how good this maybe can be. So as you can see, I pretty much just want to... Oh man, double elite pack in the start, that's not too nice. But yeah, as you can see, I pretty much just want to burn stuff.
Still waiting.
Yeah, it's a bit hard to talk at the same time with this messy start here, but it's pretty nice to just see Rancelot's Foley work that well, even without spamming the twisters myself, because the twisters from the Edged Seagull already proc a lot.
Need more time.
Oh, and I should mention that I also use Illusionist, so every time I see that my safe passage is proccing, I pretty much just want to be moving on, you know. I'm a little behind now, definitely not the best start this stuff here, but let's see if I can't manage to do this without at least dying. Yeah, it's a lot of fishing, and that's kind of the problem. If you get a bad rift, you might not want to go with it. And wow, these wallers are annoying. But I'm critting about, I think, 500 million at my best with this beam here. And I suppose that's not all bad, but there's definitely other builds that can do a lot more damage faster. But yeah, for those without maybe Dulcere gear or whatever, they might want to try this build here and have some fun with it. Definitely a very bad start on the rift here, because the whole point of the build is basically just to try to burn as many mobs as you can and then just move on.
I need healing.
Okay, so now I at least get them far away. Okay, so now it's only that one left, and now you can kind of see the damage here a little easier. 400 million, 300, 450 million. I think I'm critting 1 billion sometimes. I'm not quite sure, but yeah. Okay, so that's 2 lead packs at the same time. So the survival is there. Sure, I can die, but with Safe Passage and Illusionist, it's quite safe.
Not ready yet.
So now I get a really good rift here. So let's kind of just show what the build is all about. So I get a pylon as well now. That's nice. So keep pulling. You know, don't stop. Just so good. So now I have 2 lead packs and a lot of mobs up.
Need more time.
And now I just have to get my black hole going. So spam a lot of black holes so you always have the buff going. And now kind of just go a little back and avoid damage. Always use safe passage on cooldown pretty much, so you always position yourself correctly. Maybe sometimes spam your own twisters, but it's not really needed. But you can do that, of course. Now I kinda run out of mobs because some of them are dying, and I maybe just want to go a little ahead.
Need more time.
Keep having mobs burned in my nearest area at least.
Get any better. You dare attack me? Not ready yet. I need healing.
Yeah, and I can't really stop up. Do die quite fast on these ranged projectiles and abilities that some of the elites have.
I must heal.
Yeah, that's the problem with this challenging build. You know, you're standing still to do damage, and that is really not nice for some parts of this. What can you say? Rift. I would definitely say that caves are also the worst sort of map you can get for this build, because you need to burn a lot of mobs for the build to really work well. Anywho, I think I killed both of the elite packs now. Not quite sure. Yeah, let's see if I don't get some globes now from this. Okay, so I did get some globes there. Oh, I already get a new... Oh man, this is nice. Power pylon together with an elite pack. Yeah, so now I'm critting like 1 billion with this pylon, so that's always nice to see. Consistent 1 billion crits. But I need to move on now. Okay, so the map is at least over, so it's not a cave anymore maybe, if I get lucky. Okay, so slow. Now I don't have any mobs burning, and as you can see right now, the damage is just way low when I have no mobs burning in my nearby area. But since the map was over and there was no nearby mobs left to burn, that's what happened. Okay, this looks a little better. I mean, it's a corridor and there's a lot of density. So let's try finding an elite pack now, see if we could get lucky. So far none, maybe up here? Nope. Okay, and I engaged one, but I'm not quite sure where it was. Okay, there you go. So now I should have quite a few mobs burning in my nearby, what can you say, area. Okay, need to move a little, but I stood for quite a long time there. Oh, I moved my screen now. Oh, I'm sorry. Don't mind that.
Need more time.
Yeah, that's the problem playing in the Windows smooth mode. When the action gets a little too much.
Still waiting.
Anywho, if you feel like the damage is low, just burn some new mobs and move on. Okay, now I definitely... Ah, they stupid charging on me. When I was aiming my black hole, they charged. That's just too bad.
Need more time.
Yeah, now I'm running out of mobs again. As you can see, there's not many white mobs, so my damage is kind of low again.
Still waiting.
And that's really just the problem with this build, that it relies so much on white mobs to be up, so you can actually do damage. Considering that the elite packs have like 300 billion health on 65 already, it's pretty bad when there's not much trash packs up. But as you see, I do crit a few 2 billion there, 1.2 billion, 1.3 billion there.
Need more time.
So I can crit pretty high, but it's not consistent damage. Sometimes it just feels Like even if you're burning a lot of mobs, it feels kind of low
Not ready
damage.
yet.
Maybe that's just, I don't know, me being wrong there. Okay, so I got a few mobs in the
Still
behind
waiting.
now that are burned. So let's see if I could go a little ahead. Don't want to maybe go too far away from the mobs
I need
already have
healing.
burned. Oh, I
Not
can't
ready
stand
yet.
still. Yeah, that's the problem with winged assassins. They are really anti-ranged.
I'm injured.
Okay, so now I can actually end up dying because I don't have my potion ready. Okay, I think I got a health globe there or something.
Still waiting. I must heal. Need more time.
Okay, my health potion was at least ready there. That's nice.
Still waiting. I've been healed. I'm injured. Not ready yet.
Okay, so that's pretty much it. Anywho, another thing that's really nice about this build is that it's pretty simple to play. You know, you have to teleport a lot and you have to position yourself and aim. But when that is said, that's pretty much all you do. You don't really use any other abilities than Black Hole and the Beam. I mean, again, you could use this sometimes just to burn some arcane power, but then you lose your Kuller's
I'm injured.
Courage, so that's not really good.
Need more time.
And with Ransler's Foley you get all this nice crowd control. And wow, I think they have electrified or something. That really killed me.
Defy all Still waiting. You dare attack me?
Where's the elite pack? Why doesn't it follow me? So annoying when you have to go back and get the pack with you when you have started burning a lot of mobs. But yeah, open maps where you can kind of just teleport around walls and kite, that's really just the best kind of maps. This is definitely not the ideal map for for this particular build.
I'm unstoppable. Heal me. Need more time.
And now I get stuck in the wall. That's just
I'm
annoying.
badly wounded. How does that feel?
Oh well, at least I can use the wall as well as
Not ready
some
yet.
sort of survival strategy.
Help me.
Nah, you do survive pretty good with this build, but it feels kind of fragile at times.
Still waiting.
And now I have no mobs up, and I'm doing like 250 million crits only.
Need more time.
So annoying when the white mobs die and the elite pack has some health left. Okay, so now it actually died there.
Not ready yet.
But yeah, with better play and better maps, you could easily do a 65 with this build, definitely. It's just all about not being, what can you say, bad. But at least you can get a quick look at the first map when you re-roll a Greater Rift if you're fishing, and then just exit out the game if this is not the right Greater Rift for your particular build. Cause I'm not gonna make the Greater Rift boss this time, but I didn't really expect that either. I haven't been playing much for this build as well, so what you're kinda seeing right now is, I would say, definitely average gameplay. Yeah. And also another thing, I'm not quite sure about this, but if you are out of range of the burning mobs, I think you lose to the damage buff. This is just a guess, I'm not quite sure about that actually, but I think that's how it works at least.
The Rift Guardian is here.
Anywho, let's just see the boss damage then. As you can see, the boss damage is horrendous. There's no mobs up that I can burn. Like, I should actually tell that I'm using Bane on the String, which you pretty much need just for the boss alone. But I mean, I mean, look at this. You're critting 500 million, and the boss itself has what, 800 billion health. This is like, if you could burn consistently, it would take like 2 minutes to kill. But you also have to kind of avoid the boss's abilities and stuff. Now, of course, there are some bosses that spawn ads, which is really helpful, but that's not all of them. So yeah, killing a boss in this gear and spec here, even with Bane of the Stricken, is just wow, so useless. Yeah.
Still waiting.
But yeah, this is getting pretty boring, so I think I will pretty much end the video with that. I hope you found this useful, and maybe you will try this build out yourself. I should also mention that if you don't have Twisted Sword, you could also play with Wand of Woe and have the Etched Sigil or whatever, the Infinity Depth offhand in your cube. So this can also work with Wand of Woe, which, well, maybe you have Wand of Woe instead of Twisted Sword. So yeah, I think that's about it for the video. So yeah, goodbye.